Hi there, my name is Kay Moon and I am a twin flame channel and Western astrologer, and this is a video about the Cancer full moon eclipse for twin flames. This is a very interesting full moon. This particular full moon eclipse is a double ending, the same way we had a double new beginning with the new moon in Capricorn on December 25th, new moon eclipse in Capricorn, because solar eclipses are beginnings, and so are new moons. This Cancer full moon eclipse, this is a lunar eclipse occurring on a full moon. This is a double ending. Both full moons represent culminations and completions, and lunar eclipses also represent endings of cycles and chapters. This particular full moon in Cancer is the closing out for twins of a dysfunctional emotional cycle, or an emotional cycle that they have both outgrown. For many, I have noticed that many have very recently come back into communication. I'm noticing from my sessions, and not only have they come back into communication, closing out cycles of non-communication, they've come back into communication with a lot more truth and integrity than they previously had in their connections. And that's a really good thing. It's good to close chapters of non-working communication with a lot of truth. And this particular full moon lends itself to the taking the initiative to close out those chapters with a lot of truth here, because in the sign that the divine masculine governs, Sagittarius, we've got motivation, passion, ambition, and drive. We've got Mars here making an entrance into the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius really governs faith, hope, and optimism, but also it governs the freedom to follow the truth and our highest ideals. With Mars, motivation and ambition activating the path that the divine masculine walked all last year in the sign of Sagittarius, that sign of truth, before he emerged out here in Capricorn, the sign of physical manifestation for that truth. Mars is lending itself to the masculine energies within all of us to start living the truth in our day-to-day lives, whatever that truth is for us that we discovered last year about who we are, what the connection is, what we need at this time. Mars is providing a lot of motivation to start being honest in our choices and in our words about that truth. The truth of who we are, the truth of what we need, the truth of where we're at, the truth of how we feel. Beautifully, there's a lot of cardinality in this chart. Cardinal energy and cardinal signs bring forward initiative taking. And so you may notice that there's something new happening in your connection with your twin that, if you're paying attention, this hasn't really happened before. We're in new territory, both with the divine masculine in his new sign for the year, and the divine feminine in her new sign for the year, Libra. We're in brand new territory, doing new things for 2020 in our twin connections. What's interesting about this is that because the divine masculine at this time is having a, a very direct conversation with the South Node here at 8 degrees Capricorn, many divine masculines are in the process of, because they spent so much time getting clear about the truth last year when they transited Sagittarius, now coming to terms with what it's going to cost to start living that truth, what they're going to have to pay to start being honest. You know, what's interesting about it is it's not so much even now that they realize what the truth is, they're starting to question why. I'm noticing many divine masculines are starting to honestly ask themselves not what is the truth, but why is this the truth? They're starting to want to go deeper in an understanding of who they are and how they got to exactly where they are in their lives. Um, and this is a great thing, because this is because they want to do that. It's leaving and leading the divine feminine here into a place of even deeper self balance, deeper being fair to herself, deeper being centered in who she is. So that's a real gift. As the saying goes, the truth sets us free. Sometimes it's not without a little pain at first, but in the end, it sets us all free. With the South Node and Jupiter talking, the divine masculine is Jupiter in the way that I read charts. There's also, because this is taking place in Capricorn, there's also a little bit, and in some cases, a lot of bit, of financial karma. And in some cases, it's tied to family and choices our masculine energies have made with regard to money and family. And in addition to that, because family is Cancer, and that's opposite where Jupiter sits in the chart at this time. In addition to that, some of this financial karma has to do with decisions made in work and business that just no longer serve, that are no longer useful decisions. And so, for those of you who have been in somewhat regular communication with your divine masculine, you will get some revelation about this. There are others of you who have just heard from your divine masculine for the first time in a long time. As you know, Jupiter in the South Node talk, it's like he's returning out of the past, jumping out of that past portal and into the present moment. And this energy would have been really activated in the last 2 to 3 weeks as Mercury here had a direct conversation with Jupiter and the South Node. Many divine masculines made a resurgence in the physical world that they share with their divine feminine in some capacity. And for some of you, this has just been in dreams, um, almost as if a harbinger of things to come. And for others of you, it's been real direct contact. I've been seeing your emails in my inbox about the things your DMs are saying to you, and how shocking and surprising quite so much of it is. And the reason for some of the surprise is A, you never saw him coming. B, you certainly didn't see what he was going to say to you coming. The reason for that here is this Uranus. It's Uranus at 2 degrees Taurus, which is an earth sign, having a trining conversation with Jupiter here. Trining meaning harmonious and complementary. They're both in earth signs, Uranus being divinity and divine activation, and the divine mind. Jupiter being, opportunity and expansion, both of them being in earth signs. There's a real recognition for a lot of DMs like, okay, whatever it is, I need to say something to my divine feminine. Even if it's, yep, I got married to somebody else. Yep, I'm still in love with you. Yep, I have feelings for you that I have never admitted to you before. Or, yep, I have a kid and I didn't tell you. Or, yep, I quit my job and I moved, countries to do this other thing. There's a lot of divine communication coming forward now that's truthful in a way that there hasn't been room for the truth before. So Divine Feminines, a couple of things for those of you who are getting that level of truth from your Divine Masculine, even if it's things you don't want to hear. Consider it all blessings. Consider it all connection. Because if the connection wasn't real, he wouldn't be talking to you in the first place at all. Number one. Not to say that those who aren't hearing from their DMs aren't having a real connection. For some DMs, it's going to take a little bit more time, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And not only that, some DMs are really waiting for the right time. Um, this isn't the right time for everyone. But for those who are getting communication that, and for some of you, I've seen it in my inbox, it is painful. Some of the things you're learning and discovering and finding out about your DM and the things that he's been up to over the course of the past year. Um, Consider it a blessing that you are in the know at this time, because you are closing out a chapter of obliviousness, obfuscation, deception. You're closing out chapters of not knowing. And that's a big piece of what this Cancer full moon is about, this Cancer full moon eclipse. It's about now exposing the truth of where we're at so that we can open up a new chapter that is based on the truth. So hang in there if the communication you're getting is uncomfortable. And to the degree that you can, remain grateful for the communication that you're getting. Because in many cases, 2018 and 2017, 2019 even, these were years of either deception or omission, or they were years of absenteeism in the lives of many twins, and starting from a place of truthfulness, even if the truth doesn't feel good, is the only place that real connection between you and your DM, if you're a divine feminine, can begin, regardless of what that truth is. If it's something that doesn't feel so good, it's okay. It's still all good in the end, because now you have a real shot at being real with one another, a real shot at being connected in a honest way. All right. Now, for those of you who are getting surprising information in the other direction, from your divine masculine, about things they never told you about, all the ways they feel about you, or things they've thought about the connection, or where they want things to go, or ways that they would like to come forward towards you. Keep in mind that the divine feminine's role at this moment is to stay in balance. He still has a long ways to go. We're only at the 8th degree here of Capricorn. We still have another 22 degrees to go before that manifestation comes to full fruition. And not only that, but the divine masculine is going to go retrograde at some point this year. And in a very literal sense, that could be a backtracking in what was said, or some sort of reevaluation of what has been shared at this point. Divine feminines, the job at this moment is to stay in balance. And divine masculines, if you're looking at your divine feminine and you're wondering why she's not responding the way she may have before, if she was the kind to like fly off the handle, or run down a rabbit hole, or chase you down, or freak out, or any of those things. If she's not doing any of those things, it's not because she doesn't care. It's because she's in a new place. With the divine feminine's arrival here in Libra, the divine feminine's having an experience of balance within herself and within the connection. She's having the experience of providing a lot more connection to herself than she may have given to herself in the past. And as a result, you may be coming with information or news that maybe you thought she'd react a certain way to, and come to find out she's giving you a little bit of a wow, that's interesting. Really cool. Okay. Thank you for sharing. You may find her in a place of deepened composure, wider curiosity, um, a deeper place of unwillingness to compromise about her needs when she's done spending time together. She might be done, like, okay, we'll have to do this some more another time. I have to go take care of me now. I have to go be with myself, my family, my kids, my whatever now. Um, and so it's not that she cares any less, it's that she just is including caring about herself just as much, if not more, than she did before. All right. And divine feminines, if you're not finding yourself in that place at this moment, it's okay. Don't worry. That balance energy is going to play out in different ways in your chart based upon some of the other energies here, because there's some difficult energies here. Some real difficult energies here. So this energy of balance is going to show up, um, in accordance with how these energies impact your personal planets in your personal chart at different points over the course of this year. So if you're not feeling that just at this moment, don't worry. It'll come, it'll happen at a moment in which it's right for you. But know that the Divine Feminine's journey this year really has to do with finding yourself in that place of equality and fairness to self in partnerships, and balance, with the partnership asteroid in the sign of balance and justice and equality. Interestingly, okay, yes. Cancer North Node. This has been an ongoing energy. It was there for all of 2019. This Cancer North Node is inviting both twins to begin the process of really deepening their emotional vulnerability, transparency, and coming home to the truth of how they feel inside. It's also because this Sun and Mercury are conjunct under the light of this full moon, asking us to look at why do we feel the way we feel for both twins. What is it that we're feeling? But more importantly, why do we feel that way? What is the story we are telling ourselves about what's going on that causes us to feel how we're feeling? For many of us at this moment in time, given some of the very difficult energies in this chart, especially this Saturn Pluto here, this kind of this Chiron square Folus over here, and then this Cardinal Grand Cross here, between Eris, if you work with the asteroids, or the trans-Neptunian objects, Eris and Juno, and the moon and sun, with Mercury. We've got a Cardinal Grand Cross here that has a lot to do with dropping stories about being a victim. This is big, and I go really in depth about this in the general video. I highly recommend you listen to it. There are so many ways in the twin flame connection that it is easy to buy into the story of somehow, some way, we can't have what we want in the connection, and we can't have what we want out of the connection, and therefore somehow we're just doomed. Like everyone can have what they want but us. Whether you're a divine femme or a divine masculine, it's easy to fall into that storyline, which is not true. It is not real. That is a storyline that divorces us from our true power and lies to us about our true nature as divine incarnates. So, take a listen to that video because I talk about the ways to get out of that storyline under the light of this full moon and step into your divine leadership at this time. Because that's what's truly being called for here at this moment in time is a recognition of, based on the things that are ending, the cycles that are closing out, the chapter that is now over and complete. It is now time for us to Sun conjunct Mercury here in Capricorn, write the story that we're going to manifest this year, because this is a Sun conjunct Mercury in Capricorn. Write that story that we want to live into in the material world. Create what we know we are capable of actually having. And it can be tough if we're really locked into a storyline of trappedness and victimhood, and because my twin didn't, that means that I can't. And because my husband or wife is, and that means that now I can't, blah, 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 either, fill in the blank. There's so much of that in the air. And as divine incarnates, it's really up to us to carve a new way forward that allows us to see with our own eyes and act with our own hands, with the storyline of, okay, so I don't have what I want now, I got it, but transit of Jupiter through Sagittarius all last year, now I know exactly what I have to do to get it. Now I know what price I'm going to have to pay to have it. Jupiter conjunct the South Node at the 8th degree of Capricorn. Now I know what exactly it is I'm going to have to let go of, Jupiter conjunct South Node, in order to live my emotional truth, North Node in Cancer. So, getting what we want is not without its costs. For many of us at this point in time, it's going to require letting go of a pair of glasses called victimhood that have kept us safe from the vulnerability that having what we want requires. There's a certain level of vulnerability and transparency and digging deep into our emotional truths, the ones that hurt, the ones we don't like to tell anyone. There is a level of going there and revealing that this full moon is asking of all of us, so that we can start the process of building the lives that we truly want and that we truly desire. This would normally be the point in time where I would say, if you'd like to get a personal reading for yourself or for your twin, to email me. However, unfortunately, all the readings for January are sold out at this point, and February's calendar has not yet opened up. So I will be doing live mini readings 2 different times this month on a new channel, K-Moon Live Astrology Readings. Please go ahead and subscribe. It's showing on your screen now. And when you do, be sure to hit this notification bell. The notification bell will let you know exactly when I'm going to go live. Sometimes that live mini reading list can get a little long and I can go for several hours. But if you don't want to be waiting for several hours, hitting that notification bell will let you know that I'm live. And now it's, as soon as you see me go live, you can go ahead and make your payment and get on the list so that you're not waiting for several hours. I'm super pumped to do live mini readings this month. The dates and times are to be determined. If you would like to be notified of when those dates and times are, just shoot me an email, and instructions will be in the autoresponder that you'll receive. Make sure to double check your spam or promotions folder. The autoresponder will tell you how to get on my first to know list. And once you're on that first to know list, those people who are on that list, I tell them when I'm going live, and typically they're the first ones to actually pay and get their readings done, so that they're in and out when I do live mini readings. I thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and sharing. I'd love to know how this resonates for you in the comment section below. Take great care. Bye for now.